All right, on this episode of the LPDS, we discuss a little bit about being true to ourselves, being honest with ourselves, not being fake, not putting on a show for people, being our true, honest, authentic, vulnerable selves, and the value that that has in this world as opposed to not doing that. We also get into some current events. I apologize for any bad audio. I made an absolute blunder on my road trip to Weekend War. I left my microphone stuff in the dungeon, in the Libretti dungeon over in New Jersey. So we're working with some shoddy audio probably. So I apologize up front. But we'll still get into the current events. We'll still get into the junction topic. We're still going to have a good time. It's all going to happen right now. All right, jabronis, we're back. Welcome back to the Libretti Podcast Diary Show. I'm your host, Libretti. Hope everybody had a good week. Mine was super busy with a whole bunch of malarkey going on. I was road trip from Texas back up to New Jersey to the dungeon again. Had a full week of work and Libretti activities. Everything was absolutely scheduled. My days and nights were packed. And that's why I didn't record this episode until I got to the hotel room in Pennsylvania for Weekend War. And that's where I am now. So by the time you see this, I'll actually be back in the dungeon. And hopefully I'll be a little bit well rested. I'm dog tired right now. Dog tired. I'm talking a little bit lower just in case there's people milling about the hotel. I don't want to disturb anybody. I'm staring at myself in the mirror over here behind the camera. That's weird. And we're making it work here. We're making it work. We're talking about being ourselves, not being fakes, no fakeries in the junction today. We'll get into that, obviously, in the junction. But got to talk about some current events. I did have a nice road trip to Pennsylvania. It was only a 2-hour road trip, so it really wasn't that bad. I was going to record on the road again, but it was only 2 hours. It was getting dark out, and it would have been a weird video from light to dark. You wouldn't have been able to see me unless I popped the light on in the car, and that would have been not safe, for lack of a better term. So maybe I'll do another road trip type episode like that, where I'll have have you guys ask me questions on my return trip back to Texas. We'll see how that goes. I'll see if I can make that happen, or if I can record in the dungeon and show you guys a new bathroom setup. It's really nice bathroom setup, let me tell you. It's no longer the dungeon cave with the asphalt shower bottom, which was a nightmare. You saw it in one of the Christmas episodes I did with Nikki Sticks. This is a much better dungeon bathroom. Looks more like a regular house, which is crazy in that place. They've been there for 2+ years. And now it's finally starting to look like a home. So maybe I'll record there. Maybe I'll record on the road. I do have to remember the next time I record on the road to flip my camera horizontal, because that was a stupid rookie mistake I made as well. And the whole video on that episode was vertical. Not what you want. It's really not what you want. So I apologize once again for that. But we made it work. You live and learn, guys. You live and learn. And that's what this show is all about. Living and learning and having fun doing it. Now, some current events. I don't have them on my computer. I have them on old school, old-timey, hard notes, pen and paper this time, because we were mobile. So some of the names on the Epstein list have started to trickle out and be released. I believe the Wall Street Journal has been the ones releasing. It's been 2 parts now. So that's good update. Some of the names And this is just the names of the people who have been associated with him in quote-unquote business, to include logged visits to his mansion in New York City, over to Sex Pedo Island, flights over there. So we obviously know about Bill Clinton has had hundreds of visits over there. I think 23 flights to Sex Pedo Island alone. Plus they have the picture of him, the portrait of him in a dress on Sex Pedo Island having a grand old time. We heard about, in this recent release, Bill Gates had a lot of association with him, several meetings, several discussions. I think we discussed that a little bit in the past about Bill Gates' association. It did come up on the heels of his divorce from his wife, after there was a release of I don't know how to describe it, known meetings and associations with Jeff Epstein. There was that release that he was hunky-dory with old Jeff, and then the wife divorced him. He's probably been sleeping around, and it sounds like maybe possibly he was doing it with underage women now. So Bill Gates is on that list. Who else made the list? Let's see here. We got Woody Allen. He was invited. Jeff Epstein was invited to multiple private screenings of movies for Woody Allen by Woody Allen. They've hung out together. That's people. There are people on the other side of the aisle, the defense of Woody Allen and the defense of the pedos. That side of the aisle are saying, "Oh, that doesn't make sense. There's really no reason for those two to hang out. One's a movie guy and one's a finance guy. So it doesn't make any sense whatsoever." Here's the thing. It makes perfect sense to me, if we're putting the tinfoil hat on, because Woody Allen married his stepdaughter after he raised her from preteen up to adult. And then he married her. Okay? So it makes perfect sense that he was hunky-dory with old Jeff Epstein before he got suicided. And all these associations, by the way, this is the big thing about the most recent release of names and associations with all these people. These associations happened after the first time Jeff Epstein was arrested and charged and convicted of doing child sex stuff. And he was released after like a minimal punishment. So there's that, with Woody Allen. There's the co-founder of LinkedIn. I forgot that dude's name. A former Treasury Secretary, Lawrence Summers. I think that was during the Barack Obama administration. Former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak. Meetings with him on the island in the mansion. Who else we got here? We got Bill Gates, Woody Allen. We got the current. This is nuts, and this has sparked an additional tinfoil hat theory that I haven't looked into too much yet, but I'm going to mention it here anyway for you guys to do your own investigations. He has associations, multiple meetings with the current director of the CIA. Now that guy, his publicist team has claimed this guy did not know anything about Jeff Epstein's sex pedo trafficking stuff, and that they met for some business stuff. Business-related reasons, financial stuff, because he heard Jeff Epstein was a big finance guy. Even though Jeff Epstein's only finance client was the founder and CEO of Victoria's Secret, who gifted him that $1 billion mansion in the city. So that's his finance experience. Getting dirt on the Victoria's Secret guy and then getting gifted this mansion to keep it hush-hush. And then he met with the CIA director, who's the current director. Now, here's why this is embarrassing. He's the CIA director, the head of the Central Intelligence Agency. You mean to tell me that guy did not do any sort of intelligence gathering on people he associates with in business and finance? If he's dealing with this guy in the finance world, you would think he's going to do some sort of investigation on his background. So the fact that the head of the CIA is saying he didn't know anything about his very public conviction previously from 2014 of him getting charged with sex pedo stuff, Didn't know anything about it. He's playing dumb now. This is the guy in charge of our CIA. So either he's dumb or he's a liar. I don't know what's worse. Do you want a dumb guy running our CIA, or do you want a liar? I guess probably a liar, because that's what they're good at, the CIA, is lying and collecting information based off of lying. I don't know. But he's been associated with it. There's another guy who like started some big hedge fund, I think. I forgot his name. He also claimed stupidity on not knowing anything about old Jeffy beforehand, which again is ridiculous to me. These are big-time businessmen, titans of industry, celebrities. You don't allow people into your inner circle when you're that big and famous and rich without knowing something about their background. So something tells me that they're lying. Here's the tinfoil hat theory that has come since the knowledge has been released of the CIA Directors Association with them. They're thinking now that Jeff Epstein was a CIA operative. He was an agent for them, not in the CIA, but he was like Charles Manson was, where Charles Manson was given LSD and taught how to get people to take LSD and trick them into joining his cult and doing stuff for him, and it was on behalf of the CIA. That stuff is actually out in public. There's a giant book, I forgot what it's called, but it's like a book based on 20 years of research by the author, finding out all the stuff that happened with Charles Manson and the MK Ultra stuff, and Jolly Roger. I forgot his name. That sounds stupid, but his name is something like that. It's like a Jolly West or something like that, from the CIA, who was in charge of MK Ultra. Every time Charles Manson was getting busted for crimes, the CIA would take over, get him released, get him back into the wild after training him on how to dose people with LSD and get them to do stuff for him. And now the tinfoil hat theory of Jeff Epstein is that he was doing the similar thing for the CIA. He was getting in with all these power elites, these celebrities, these people in different countries, to get intel from them, get dirt on them. And he was doing that by bringing them to the parties in Sex Pedal Island and offering them women and filming them and getting the dirt and then getting information from them for the CIA. That's the big conspiracy going on right now. I have to look into that. I haven't put my tinfoil hat on that one just yet, but it's out there for everybody to know about. Now I'm going to stop talking about that, because I could talk about that for hours, folks. I mean, let's be honest. You know me, and you know my obsession with finding these suspects, these perpetrators, these rapists, and getting justice on them. It still boggles my mind that there is a known worldwide child sex trafficking ring that was known by the Department of Justice. People were convicted of running this sex ring, but it was a sex ring for nobody, no suspects. Still boggles my mind. Give me a break. Anyway, moving on. Yankees stink. Okay, so far the prediction has come true. The prediction we made on the LPDS is holding true so far. They stink. Aaron Judge gets hurt. Coincidentally, right after his big contract year, he goes down with a sore hip. They have 12 to 14 injuries on the team in the first 30 games of the season, the most in any team so far. 30 games of a season, and 12 to 14 of their players are injured. What are they doing in spring training and the offseason to be that weak? Now, I know baseball's 162 games. It's tough. You're on the road a lot. You don't have a lot of time to work out and maintain your physique and flexibility and health and wealth and whatever, but holy crap, are these guys weak. Going down before the season even starts, some of these guys. It's unbelievable. The GM, Brian Cashman, is taking no responsibility. He tried to fake the fans out by saying, I take responsibility for what's going on, but then he immediately says, you know, if we didn't have all these injuries, we would be a championship caliber team. And you know that's not true, because they made no moves in the offseason besides getting two additional guys in the offseason who were already injured when they signed them. So they were known problems. They made no other moves. And they weren't a championship caliber team last year, and they're running it back this year, and they think and Cashman is telling us, oh, don't worry, this is the year, guys. Once our guys aren't injured, we'll be championship caliber. Give me a break, dude. Okay? unless you make real moves by the trade deadline in July, you guys are going nowhere. Their team is garbage. Their team batting average is like 190. It's embarrassing. I can do that. Unbelievably embarrassing. Anyway, now I'm heated. Golly. What else we got going on? Had to shave the beard. That's a current event for you guys. Had to shave the beard for Weekend War. By the time you're watching this or listening to this, it'll probably be fully grown back because I had to shave it twice just before work alone to make sure I was in regs, because the thing grows like a weed under a faucet. So I got to deal with that. So don't worry, ladies, it's coming back. Just stand by, all right? What else we got? All right, sorry about that. Had another phone call. Nikki Sticks loves calling every time I'm recording, so I had to deal with that. Anyway, Crazy Carol and JPL3 are going to Italy. In fact, by the time this comes out, they'll be on a plane to Italy to go on an extravaganza. I'm very excited for them. I'm very worried. My parents are getting older. They're a little bit more gullible. I don't want them to get scammed by some greaseball Italian who's going to sweet talk them with their olive oil skin and their silky smooth voices and get them paying money for nothing. So I hope they're okay. I hope they enjoy themselves. They're going with my aunt and uncle as well. So it's going to be a 10-day extravaganza, and it should be a fun time. So we'll see how it goes. What else we got here? Ooh, funny story. This is the last current event, I think, and then we'll move on into the good stuff. We had a situation going on in New Jersey. Not with my family or anything, and it was actually an article that was sent to me by Mrs. Wetcat. There was a mysterious incident in Old Bridge, New Jersey. Now, I believe Old Bridge is the hometown of public enemy number one on the LPDS, Corey Davids. Shout out to my boy, Corey Davids. Old Bridge, New Jersey had a mysterious situation where somebody dumped 500 pounds of cooked spaghetti and ziti and pastas along a creek bed in a neighborhood. Now, the pictures are a little bit misleading. You can go on the internet and check them out. The pictures make it look like it's a creek bed in the woods on a hiking trail, but really it's a creek bed next to somebody's house in a neighborhood. So there's just a long line of cooked pasta spaghetti along this little creek in New Jersey, and apparently it caused a ruckus because the neighbor kept calling the police in the town to get the spaghetti out of here because it's cooked and the animals are going to come eat it and it smells like old spaghetti and all this other crap. Unbelievable stuff. They come to find out, first of all, they called out the mayor. Somebody running for like city council or something was trying to get their name out there because they're campaigning. So they called out the mayor on social media saying maybe if the mayor wasn't busy with his call girls, he would take care of this problem and take care of the people of his town. All this shenanigans went about. They do an investigation. They come to find out that the culprit, if you will, was a guy. I'm trying to find the article here. He was a veteran. I don't know if he was retired or just a veteran or whatever, but he cooked all this pasta because his mother was hoarding it. She was a collector of pasta, had a whole stockpile of pasta, as Italian mothers do in New Jersey, and she passed away. And then he had to get out of the house. He had to clear out the house and sell it. And I guess, I don't know, a combination of grief and sorrow plus PTSD from being in the war to all this other stuff. Apparently, he tried to take it to a dump, but they wouldn't take it, so he decided that the best bet was just to cook it and dump it. And he dumped what they said is upwards of 18 wheelbarrows worth of spaghetti in this person's yard, essentially, this neighborhood. Now, if that's not the most New Jersey Ginza greaseball Italian thing that you've heard all year, then I don't know where you're getting your stories from. You must be living in New Jersey, I guess. I guess that's where you get all the stories. That's the most New Jersey thing. That's what I'm really trying to say. That's the most New Jersey thing I've heard all year, without a doubt. Unbelievable story of this guy with the pasta, with the spaghettis. I don't know, why did he cook it? There's so many questions I have. Why didn't he just take the boxes and donate them? Pasta doesn't go bad. Uncooked pasta doesn't go bad. Was she hoarding cooked pasta? Did she have a stockpile in a freezer of pre-cooked spaghettis? I don't understand what went on, but he had it, he cooked it, and he dumped it. And it was a middle-of-the-night job, like he was hiding a body. When everyone was sleeping, he was dumping spaghettis. Beeping a boop bopping around Old Bridge, New Jersey. So, there you go. That's that. Damn, there's a delay in the video here. I hope it's not. I hope it doesn't really. It's not. I hope it's not really happening on the actual recording. It's just what it's looking like right now. Damn it. All right, now the good stuff. Without further ado, I'll step into the cage.
Okay, let's run.
All right, today's Into the Cage segment is proudly sponsored by Paulie's Platform Shoes for Men. Are you short kings tired of getting rejected by normal-sized women because they find it repulsive that they can see over your shrimpy little head? Well, get yourself a pair of Paulie's platforms today and worry no more. Paulie's custom-sized platform boots add up to 8 inches of height to your body, and they definitely don't look conspicuous at all. Simply jump in the boots, fasten the 6 buckles around your shin, and you'll be ready to tower over the competition in no time. So to get a pair today, visit www.shortstuds.com and use the promo code BigStrongMan for 29% off your first pair of boots. Big boots for little men. That's that. I don't know where that came from. I wrote that when I was doing Weekend War. So, really struggling with the sponsors lately already. Let me tell you. All right, Cage Fact. A lot of people have already seen this, I believe, because a couple of people have sent it to me, actually. In his Renfield interviews, Nic Cage was on one of the late-night shows that'll probably get canceled any day now at the writer's strike, hopefully, because they all suck. I think it was Stephen Colbert. Don't know how that show is still on, but he was on there doing his tour, and Stephen Colbert asked him what his earliest memory was. And Nic Cage said that his earliest memory, and he's even admitted, he goes, this is going to sound super far out and ridiculous, but he said, I seem to remember being in the womb and seeing shadows around, walking, outside or whatever. That's his earliest memory of seeing shadows, and it could be from when he was in the womb, when, in utero, he said. And he goes, I know it sounds ridiculous and crazy, but that's my earliest memory. I remember it vividly, and he doesn't know if it was just visuals from when he was a baby before he really got conscious, after birth or whatever. But Nic Cage can see in the womb. Okay, that's how ahead of his time that his brain was firing, thinking creatively. So there's nothing else to be said about it. He can see in the womb. He remembers being in the womb, in the sack, in the stomach of his mother, seeing shadows of Coppola families and weirdos and freaks walking by him until he was popped right out to give us, the great one that he is today. So there you go. That's the Cage Fact. All right. Moving on over into the junction. We'll spin the logo up. Now, I really just wanted to vent about this because I've been seeing it a lot lately, and I was seeing it a little bit in myself lately too, and it took a couple of folks to give me a little kick in the ass, if you will, to get me to see straight a little bit better, to be honest with myself. There are too many people out there not putting themselves out there for real, not putting their true, honest, authentic selves out there, and it's become a problem. And like I said, I caught myself thinking a bit too much about it. It's probably sparked from the business stuff. I've been trying to put some content and lessons out there for Spearhead Leadership. And I was asking all these questions. I got some feedback from a friend who I'm not going to name. I don't know if they listen to us, but I know that they're a character in the LPDS universe. And they kept saying, hey, you might want to think about posting videos in like nicer clothes in a suit so you can present as a more official, more professional, so your reputation is that of a professional. And I was thinking, yeah, it's probably a good idea, maybe a polo or something just to look the part. But I took the LPDS step back, all right? And I started thinking about what I wanted to put out there for the people and what I think would be the most valuable. And I got like I said, I got a couple of good kicks in the ass from some people who are out there, very credible human beings out there. One of them has like 1.4 million followers on Instagram alone, and like 6 million across all the socials. And they told me, look, dude, be yourself, okay? Your value is in you. It's in who you are, okay? If you try to put on a persona or dress different than what you really, how you actually dress and who you are, people are going to see right through that, and your credibility is going to go down. Your value is going to get completely kicked to the can. And I realized something, but I realized they were right, because I was looking at their social medias and their businesses that they have out there, and their actual true selves, honest, vulnerable. They say the shit that they believe. They'll curse if they get passionate about it. They dress what makes them comfortable, what they're doing throughout the day. And they put themselves out there. The good, the bad, the ugly, the what have you. And these are super successful people. Very successful. Finance success, TV show and other business success, entrepreneurial success, whatever, every market you can think of, these people have hit and succeeded in it because they put themselves out there. Whatever they're selling, whatever their business is, whatever their business model is, whatever they were selling, it was them. It was their true, honest selves, for better or worse. And the people who liked it, like it. And the people who don't buy from them. But they're doing very well, so it's not like that many people are hating on what they're doing. And that got me the kick that I needed to realize that's what I got to do. So I'm not going to do the suit and tie and the tight ass look and this is what you do to be whatever. I'm not doing that. I have a feeling that you guys seem to like what we got going on here in the LPDS, so I'm going to try to bring that to the rest of every venture that I get myself into. Business, friendship-wise, relationship-wise, whatever I get into, you're going to get me. You're going to continue to get me, and that's that. And I'm a little angry at myself for even thinking about, putting on a persona, if you will. And it was really just like clothes and looking professional, but I don't want to do that. So if some people don't want to be part of the business or part of whatever else I do because of that, then I don't really need those people in my life or in my business. And that's that. And people can disagree with me all they want. That's fine. But that's the moral of this story, is that care about yourselves and what makes you happy and who you are, and the important people in your lives will stay in your lives because you're being true to yourself, you're being authentic, you're being vulnerable, you're not putting on airs, you're not faking it till you make it. I used to like that saying. I used to think it was cool when I was in college. Fake it till you make it. But that's a bullshit saying. Okay? If you have to wake up and lie to yourself every day and fake it, what kind of life is that? All right? If you have to wake up every day and be like, all right, I got to put on my work face and and pretend that everything's going well and pretend I like what I'm doing in life and like the people I'm working for and all this other garbage, that's no way to live, okay? So if you're doing that, take the step back, think about why you might be doing that. Is it worth it? And that's something you guys have to answer yourselves for your own lives. For me, it's not worth it, okay? It's not worth it at all. I'm going to put myself out there and the value that I bring to the table, and I'm confident people are going to like it. Enough people are going to like it that we're going to have something good here, all right? And I recommend that for you guys too. Think about what you're doing in your lives. Think about the lies you're telling yourselves every day, whatever it might be for work. I like my job and it's great and it's a good opportunity and you just got to play the game and this and that. Whatever it is, look at yourself in the mirror. Take the hard look in the mirror at yourself and ask yourself, what am I lying to myself about and why, and is it worth it? And I think you'll find the answer is probably no. There are not many times that I can recall in my life where I can say lying was worth it. Lying to myself was worth it for these reasons. I don't remember anything off the top of my head in recent memory on any time I ever said it to myself. Whenever I lie to myself, I'm bullshitting myself. That's what I'm doing. It's a bullshit. And you gotta cut the bullshit out of your lives if you want to be happier. And I know there's a lot of people, you don't understand, it's not that easy. I can't just tell people at work how I feel about them and this and that. I'm not saying go be an asshole to people. Unless the interview is an asshole, then you have a whole host of other problems. You should probably be focusing on practicing the big three so you become a non-asshole. But just be true to yourselves, okay? If you have to fake it at your job every day, you should probably find another job. It's not worth working 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, sometimes more, for 30 to 50 years of your lives. 30 to 50 years of your lives working for something that you don't care about, and you have to fake like you like it and fake nice and fake that you have, you share the same values of whatever dirtbags you're working for. That sounds miserable. And the fact that I even considered changing who I was for a business, it makes me sick to my stomach. I'm glad I'm not going to do it. And if you see me trying to even looking like I am doing it, kick me in the ass again. Because I don't want to live like that. And you guys, I'm sure, don't want to live like that too. You don't want to go through life living a lie for likes. For the dopamine rush on social media. For the fake smiles at work. Or maybe, if I kiss enough ass, or if I'm nice enough, and I just put my head down and lie to myself every day, maybe I'll get that raise doing work for somebody else's, goals and their successes. Don't do that. Take the step back. Look at yourself in the mirror. Do the LPDS critical thinking that we teach you guys every day, every week we talk about it. Think about the lies you're telling yourselves, why, and is it worth it? And I think you'll find it's not worth it. It's all bullshit, and start making the changes now. And if you see me doing it, if you see people you love in your lives doing it, kick them in the ass and show them the light, if you will. And I was just getting so tired of seeing people doing that on Instagram and Facebook and all the social media, all the crappy fake relationships you see, how everything is all hunky-dory all the time, what a perfect relationship, and then an hour later after they post a photo, they're broken up, or there's cheating, or there's some sort of infidelity or drugs or whatever it is. That happens all the time. people put out these personas on what they are, these fake characters on social media so that they can look good and get likes and get popular, and this is how I'm going to be an influencer, and this is how I'm going to get money, and this and that. People eventually see through the bullshit, okay? You see it with the celebrities recently, the past couple years. Ellen DeGeneres pretty much had to end her show because it was essentially canceled. I know she's ending on on her own volition, according to her. And same with that fatso James Corden, his show's ending, his late night show. But if you think about, if you take the steps back to do the little bit of a rewind, you kind of come to realize right after that they were outed as being frauds and pieces of shit to their employees and rude to other service industry workers and just not nice people, and that the happy-go-lucky, funny, nice, kind people they were in front of the cameras was a ruse. Their shows went away because the fakery was outed. Okay, and I never want to be like that. I never want to think to be like that again. And I hope you guys do the same. If you feel like you're pulling that crap for work or for friends you want, you think you want in your lives, or for a relationship that you're lying to yourself thinking you're happy and you really want to get out and it's really toxic or whatever, cut that shit out. Stop it. Stop bullshitting yourselves. Stop bullshitting your friends and your family that everything is good to go, that my job is great and I'm making money and this and that. I can't do anything else. I have to work. You can do something else. I promise you can do something else. Let's cut out the bullshit, okay? It's actually part of the big three. We'll talk about it in the end here. Cut out the bullshit. Stop lying to yourselves. Be true to yourselves. Be vulnerable out there. Be who you are to the world, and you'll see the value start to pour in, and you'll actually be happier in your lives. You don't have to lie to yourselves every day, pretending to be happy just for a paycheck or just because you're too scared of ending a relationship that you've been in for so long, just even though it sucks. So that's my rant on that. I'll end it quickly because I've been getting hot today, and I'm tired, and when I'm tired, I'm not thinking as straight, and I go on more emotional rants, and nobody wants to hear that. I don't want to hear it, really. That's what it is. I don't want to hear myself go on nonsensical rants and say something I'm going to regret, so I'm going to cut it there. Before we go, though, I got an old hotline question that I want to play, so let me see if I can make this work with the garbage audio situation that I've created for myself. So stand by 1 second here.
Hey, John. Giving you a call, trying to get your advice on an issue I'm having. Out here in California, my wife and I, we have a feral cat problem. This cat keeps jumping into our yard and using our yard as a litter box. The issue is having two young kids. They're out playing and stuff like that, and then come to find out they're just picking up a cat turd. Not ideal for anybody, especially if this cat has some sort of freaking disease like feline AIDS or something. But trying to figure out, how would you get rid of the problem? Knowing that you've been to war, you've done the war, you've served, you are an expert in health. How would you eradicate this feral cat problem? Have a great day.
All right. Well, thank you for the call, buddy. Appreciate that. I've actually, funnily enough, that's not a real word. Funnily, is that real? It's real now. We had another mouse problem in the dungeon recently this past week, and I had to take care of that problem. He was crawling around the luggage down there while I was hitting sticks. Luckily, Randy was asleep because he would have tore the house apart finding this damn thing, and I was able to set a trap knock them down, take them out, do your stuff. So if JPL3 is listening, Ranger Rick over there, then I'm gonna follow the letter of the law, like the lawyer suggests, and I'm gonna call animal control. I'm gonna have them take away the animal. Now, if JPL3 is not listening, we all know that calling animal control probably in California is not gonna do much. I don't know if they even have animal control. If you call them, they probably take the humans away because they probably value the animals and the creatures out there, the night creatures and the critters and the deadly predators that they have infested that city, and they'll just take the people away because they're being mean to the animals. So, don't call them. Here's what you have to do. You have to take out the cat. Okay? And I know people are going to be mad. You don't want to take out the animal. Look. You can trap it humanely, quote unquote humanely, and you can take it somewhere, and then you can dump it somewhere, and then it's going to eventually come back. Okay? There have been endless stories of people doing that with mice, rats, raccoons, skunks, squirrels, bears, feral cats, stray dogs, pets. I just read an article actually recently of a golden retriever whose shitbag white trash family in a trailer park dumped them 30 miles away from their house, and in several days he eventually found his way back. Okay? So the cat's going to come back. The cat's got something there in that area by your property that's keeping he or she in that area. Food, water, toilet, whatever it is, they're going to come back because they know that's an area I can survive in, so I'm going to come back and find that. So you can do all the quote-unquote humane trapping and rehousing you want. It's good. It's you're just delaying the problem. You're kicking the problem down the road. So you got to do something else about it. All right? And I'm not going to say what, but it involves a slice of bologna, sprinkled with a little antifreeze on top, tossed out there in the yard. Eventually the problem will go away. Okay? Now, I'm not telling you to do anything illegal. The LPDS never tells you to do anything illegal. In fact, we are very anti-illegal. I don't know if that's a phrase, but it is now. Follow the law, but get rid of the cat. You have to get rid of the problem permanently, okay? I was not going to put the sticky traps or the hide-a-house mouse trap to go release the mouse back into the wild because he's just going to come back to the warm house, to the dungeon. All right? If I put him in the little mouse motel that they make. And if I put him on the sticky traps, here's a little fun fact for you guys, in case you didn't notice this. The sticky traps are tortured, okay? You want to be humane and nice to the animals. I do too. I don't want to just kill senselessly animals like that. I don't like doing that. But you get the sticky traps, and now the thing is stuck there for God knows how long without food or water. They have toilet. They'll toilet everywhere. Doesn't matter where. But hours and hours, maybe days before you go and check the trap, and he's stuck there. And then when you try to grab and take that mouse off that trap to go release him into the wild, think about it. Okay, let's do a little critical analysis here, a little LPDS critical thinking. If the sticky glue is sticky enough to keep him there for hours and days on end without him being able to remove himself, what do you think's going to happen when you try to remove that mouse? That's right. His legs are going to rip off his body, and they're going to be stuck on that sticky trap. And then you're going to toss a dying, tortured mouse, legless, out there back into the wild, just aching to be taken by a hawk or an eagle, where they're tortured and killed that way. So they'll feel the pain. Okay? So if you really want to get humane when it comes to trapping mice, you get the old school Acme clapper trap, the little metal, how you doing? You put a little peanut butter on there or some cartoon cheddar cheese, and you make it quick and painless for them. You can hate me all you want. You can call me a son of a bitch, an animal hater, a murderer, whatever you want to call it. At least I'm not torturing these poor animals and making their lives worse. Okay? They're in a bad spot as it is. They're coming into my home. They are trespassing. They're breaking and entering. Okay? But I don't want to torture them. We just want to make sure that the problem goes away. So that's what I would suggest to you, pal. Make sure the problem goes away for good. I am not going to officially suggest any sort of illegal or immoral ways, but I do suggest listening to or watching on Netflix, I think it's still on there, Sebastian Maniscalco's comedy. I believe it's called What's Wrong with People. That's special. Listen to that special. He has a story in there. I think that will help you. Okay? So don't take my words, take his. But thank you for the call. All right. I think that's all we got. Before we go for good, though, the big three. All right, the 3 pillars to the LPDS, to staying strong, to being a better, happier, more humane, grateful human being, and spreading that goodness and positivity to the world. All right, number 1, exercise every day. Get the blood flowing, get the chemicals surging, get the calories burning, and you'll be healthier physically, mentally, and emotionally. All right, number 2, the hardest one to do, don't be a shitty person, be a good person. And that includes lying to yourself and to others. Okay, if you're putting on a persona out there, you're a liar. You're lying to people and tricking them into thinking you're something you're not, and that's not what being a good person is. That's being a shitty person at the end of the day. Okay, so don't do that. Don't shit talk somebody behind the comfort of your own keyboard or phone. Don't shit post. Don't repost crap on your Instagram stories to take those jabs. I'll show that person or that entity. I got them. I showed them. My 80 followers. They're going to really love this one. It's going to change the world. When the opportunity arises to be a shitty person, take the step back and just don't do anything. Okay? And that right there will help society greatly because you're not doubling the shit and negativity in the world. All right? Number 3, the most important one. Be genuinely thankful and grateful for all the good you have in your lives. Friends, family, roof over your head, running water, heat, AC, whatever. Think about one thing each day when you wake up. The first thing you do when you wake up in the morning after you fart and piss yourselves is think about one thing that's good in your lives. Actively think about why it's good, what your life would be like without it. And you'll feel grateful for, you'll be thankful that you have it in your lives. And then you start adding to that each day another thing. And then before you know it, the majority of your brain space is thinking in that environment of gratitude. Okay? And you couple that with not being a shitty person, and you couple that with exercising every day, and that's the recipe to becoming a better, happier, more well-adjusted, honest person of value that can spread that goodness to the rest of the world. And that's what you want to do. Spread the goodness. It's just as contagious as the badness. So why not spread goodness instead? That's all I got. I hope this audio doesn't sound too bad, and I hope there's not too much of a delay in the video because it's really going to be a circus act if there is, and I apologize. But thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell your friends and enemies and spread the good word. Hit the hotline 202-670-1114. Spread the goodness. Ask me questions, give me advice, give me feedbacks, all that good stuff, and we'll spread the LPDS universe to the world. So, thank you guys again. I love you all.